Good morning, class. Today we start the class 8 history, civics chapter 7, understanding marginalization, and this is our fifth lecture. And our first topic is minorities and marginalization. Minorities and marginalization. So class, let's say in unit 1 you read that the constitution provides safeguard to religious and linguistic minorities is part of our fundamental rights. So why do you think this minorities group have been provided these safeguards? So let's say the term minority is most commonly used to refer the communities that are numerically small in relation to the rest of the population. So basically this minority word is derived from the place where a group of people is very little or very few compared to the other population of the country. So however, it is a concept that goes well beyond numbers. It encompasses issues of power, access to resources, and has social and cultural dimensions. As you read in Unit 1, the Indian Constitution recognizes that the culture of the majority influences the way in which society has government might express themselves. So in previous classes, you have studied how the government of India safeguards those minorities who are in India in terms of education, healthcare, housing, sanitation, and other facilities which are required to live in a country or in an area. So Indian Constitution protects these people from the exploitation or the dominance over the majority community in a country. So as you read in Unit 1, so in such cases, size can be a disadvantage and lead to the marginalization of the relatively smaller community. So basically, if we call in India that marginalization in a country is also the size of the family can be termed as disadvantages in a country. So they also protect them against the discrimination and disadvantages that they may face. So give certain conditions, communities that are smaller in number relatively to rest of the society may feel insecure about their lives, so assess and well-being. So basically in terms of Adivasis or minorities in India, they are very few in numbers compared to other population in a country, and they often feel insecurity in this area because most of the rights of the Adivasis are not given by the community, or they are often dominated or pressurized by the higher authority or the majority people in the country. So they often lagging behind all the education such as job opportunities of getting education, healthcare facilities, sanitation problem, food security. So these types of problems are faced often by these minorities in India because they have not given equal status in a society. So this sense of insecurity may get accentuated if the relations between the minority and majority communities are fraught. So means we can know that these people are very few in number. That's why these people are being dominated by majority community since long time. So the Constitution provides these safeguards because it is committed to protect India's cultural diversity and promoting equality as justice. So as you have read already in chapter 5, the judiciary plays a crucial role in the upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. Every citizen of India can approach the court if they believe that their fundamental rights have been violated. Now, let us understand marginalization in the context of the Muslim community. So basically, let's see some of the major points regarding minorities and marginalization. So first point is the Constitution provides safeguard to religious and linguistic minorities as part of our fundamental rights. The term minorities is most commonly used to refer to communities that are numerically small in relation to the rest of the population. The Constitution provides these safeguards because it is committed to protecting India's cultural diversities and promoting equality as well as justice. So class, these are the major points regarding minorities and marginalization. So let's move to our next topic, Muslims and marginalization. Muslims and marginalization. So Muslim community is also termed as minorities in India. So let's say Muslims are about 13.4% of India's population and are considered to be a marginalized community in India. So basically we know that Muslim community is very less in number in India, and they are approx 13.4% total compared to total population of India, and they are termed as the minority in India. And in today, because in comparison to the other communities, they have over the years been deprived of the benefits of social economic development. So basically these minorities are deprived of getting socio-economic benefits or the development in the country. So the data in the three table below derived from the different sources indicate the situation of Muslims community with regard to basic amenities, literacy and public employment. Read the table below. What do you think this table tell us about the socio-economic status of Muslim communities? So basically, here is a table. In this table, basic amenities in 1994. So basically, kacha houses for 63.6%. So these all students are requested to study the table below very carefully. So let's move to our next topics. I will make next points. So basically these minorities are recognizing that Muslims in India were lagging behind in terms of various development indicators. The government set up a high-level committee in 2005 to categorize all these people or to identify those people who are not being given their social and political rights over the country. So, chaired by the Justice Rajendra Sachar, the committee examined the social, economic and educational status of Muslim community in India. So this committee is surveying over the minorities in India about their education, their social status and their economic condition. So the report discussed in detail the marginalization of this community. Is suggested that on a range of social, economic and educational indicators, the situation of the Muslim community is comparable to that of another marginalized community like scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. So basically, when the survey were taken over the Muslim community in India, that resulted in so many numbers such as educational indicators and the economic and the social changes were not much better compared to the other societies like scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. And then, for example, according to a report of the average year of schooling for Muslim children between the age of 7 to 16 is much lower than that of other socio-religious community. So another research was taken in Muslim community that most of the children in Muslim community were not given much education like plus 2 and other graduation or the PG and other diplomas. So basically these Muslim children basically get their basic education up to age of 7 to 16. So this is also another defect in minority community. So economic and social marginalization experienced by Muslims has other dimensions as well. Like other minorities, Muslim customs and practices are sometimes quite distinct from what is seen as the mainstream. So basically these are also because of their own tradition, culture and practices. So basically these are the major points regarding the Muslims and the minorities. And in other terms, we know that social marginalization of Muslims in some instance had led to them migrate from place where they had lived, often leading to the ghettoization of the community. So basically these are the major points regarding the Muslim and the marginalization. So let's see some of the major points regarding the marginalization and the so first point is Muslims are they had over the years of deprived benefits socio-economic development. Recognizing that Muslim India indicators the government set up a high level committee in 2005. So class, these are the major points regarding Muslim and minorities. So some other points are there in this talk, so we'll see in next class.